Adoption is one of the most understated issues of our day. You know, and that's really sad because adoption changes lives and it impacts generations to come. It's especially impacted the Ingle family. They have 12 kids, 9 of whom are adopted. Let's go meet them. Outside of the Ingles' home, the school bus stops to drop off 7 of their 12 children. 9 are adopted and 3 are biological. I joined Rick and Heather Ingle in their home to talk about life in a big family and learn more about their reasons for adopting. Tell me a little bit about each one of your children and start with the oldest and work your way down.
17 years ago, when we first got married, is when our journey began. And we became licensed foster parents the month we got married. So there was a set of boys that came, 5 and 10-year-old siblings that came to us first for 6 months. We took a month off, and then our daughter came to us. She was 6 months old. So Nicole is 16 now, Addison is 14, and he's biological. Then we have Shawn, who's 11, adopted. Hayden is 10, he's biological. Then we have Grace, who's 8, almost 9. Grace is adopted. Michael and Cal are 8, and they are twins, adopted. Isabel, who is 7, who's biological. Then we have Tyler and Anna, who are 5. And then we have William, who is 4, who's adopted. Our most recent adoption from Liberia. And then Jessie is 2, and she's adopted.
How much bread and milk do you go through in a week?
Well, we've been trying to get a cow in the backyard, and it hasn't worked yet.
Not zoned for
Haven't gotten the zoning. We go through 2 gallons of milk a day.
at least 2.
At least 2.
Would be 3 probably if we
Yeah,
had it, but you
that's
have the
probably
room to
true.
put it in there.
Bread is a variable that sometimes if there's peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese, then we go through a ton of it. But it depends on what the meal is, so I can't say how many, depends on what my menu is for that week. But 2 loaves per meal, I would say.
A lot of cereal.
Lots of cereal.
Lots of cereal.
Boxes of cereal. I just bought that. I just opened that up and it's gone.
Does everyone pitch in around the house to help out?
Depends who you ask. They're supposed to. The older ones do a better job than the younger ones, obviously. We do have set chores for a certain number of children, but we try to have as much set things for them to do, making their beds, helping at the dinner table, setting the table, those kind of things to give them some semblance of work ethic.
It is, as he said, it's just difficult to get them to do it sometimes based on their emotional needs.
In what ways have the kids added to your life, very positively changed your life?
I look at everybody and it's just this complete package. And I look at, and I praise God that I'm not in charge. I praise God that I am not behind the wheel and steering this ship. But boy, just William's a great example. William came across our computer screen and we were told he had HIV. He was HIV positive. We prayed about it, educated ourselves, agreed that that was something that we could do. And went ahead and accepted William as our son and went over to adopt. I went to Africa, brought him home, and he is HIV negative. So of course we are praising God, but we would have never looked at him as, if he would have come across our screen and as a completely healthy, typical 3-year-old boy, we would have said, that's for another family who doesn't have the heart for special needs children as we do. Because he would make a delightful addition to another family. But boy, the Lord had plans for him to be in our family, and he definitely wanted him here because without William in our family, we would lose so much laughter, so much of the joy, so much of the reasons why we laugh. And we don't laugh at him. He's a very recent, specific case that we think of, and how God is in control of our lives. And but gosh.
How about you, Rick? Are there 1 or 2 things that come to mind that you feel has really enriched your life?
I think it's given me a different perspective on what a family is. I think growing up, I was one of 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. I was the middle child, middle class, and my view of what a family was different than what we've created, what God's created. And I think that would be the biggest thing that's enriched my life, and then the ability to be able to share that with other people and let them know that this is a way to build family. This is something that you can do. And a lot of times we will get questions about how do you do it, how can you adopt, can you love a child that's not yours, can you love a child that's of a different race or has a special need, and the answers are all yes, you can, especially from fathers or from other men who will ask me or say to me, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could love another child that's not my biological child. And it can be done. And it's enriched me so much that I look at my children and I don't see any differences. It's hard to explain, but I see them, I see who they are, and I forget that they're black or they're adopted or they're biological, and that's what it's done for me. It's changed the way I view what a family is.
How has adoption and fostering children affected you as a couple?
Oh, we are so passionate about it. I feel like we're a great team to be able to advocate for the 143 million orphans worldwide. The need is so enormous, and we realize we can't save every child, and we're not out to do that. We don't have a rescue mentality. But parenting 12 children is not easy. And without teamwork, without us doing it together, we would never. He changes just as many diapers as I do. He dispenses just as many meds as I do. And at the end of the day, although we might not have as much quality time as other couples do, we still feel so connected and so close. And I think I can honestly say that after 17 years of marriage, our marriage is the strongest it's ever been.
Do you attribute that in part to your parenting as it's been laid out?
Yeah, I think I would attribute some of it to us. It's almost like being in a foxhole. I mean, you're in with somebody, and you count on that person as much as they count on you, and that's a closeness that we share that we never have with any other people. We know things and have experienced things that other people haven't, and all we got to kind of do is wink at each other, and we know, we know the inside secrets and some of the things that we've experienced, and I think that would bring anybody closer together.
Describe for me, if you will, a couple of the positive changes you've seen in your children since adopting them.
Most of our children came as infants. So I think, a set of our twins were severely neglected. And didn't show a lot of emotion when they first came as infants. No smiling, no typical developing things that they should be doing at the age that they came. And to watch them blossom into, even as infants, to see them smile for the first time, to see them doing things that they should be doing was wonderful. It's really cool to see that. William, who came home 7 months ago, seeing his transformation, so incredible. When I spent the 2 weeks in Africa with him, very withdrawn, very quiet, I honestly didn't even know if he could talk. And seeing him blossom through these last 7 months oh my goodness, it's been so neat.
Physically he's a lot different.
Physically, he's doubled his weight since he came.
Well, 1 minute in the room with William, and he can talk. Yes, he can talk. So seeing as an older child come, who's 4, and seeing that transformation was really rewarding. And for the children to experience his first of seeing, first French fry, first chicken nugget, first sip of soda, first glass of milk, and watching him taste and experience all these new things was incredible for all of us. When we return, we'll meet Julie, a friend who is reaching out to the Ingles. And we'll also learn why the Ingles are so involved with adoption.
Whether you're a student needing answers, a parent needing help, or a concerned citizen wanting to make a difference, Life Issues Institute has the resources you need to put your values into action. Life Issues Institute is an international educational organization committed to protecting innocent human life. Life Issues Institute knows what it takes. That's why millions throughout the world turn here for help. Life Issues Institute has authored more pro-life publications than any other entity in the world, and its materials are printed in over 30 languages. Radio broadcasts, newsletters, and a website filled to the brim with the answers you're looking for are just a click away. Go to facinglife.tv and click on the link to Life Issues Institute to find out more about how you can change the heart of a nation.
When Heather and Rick Ingle got married, they had both shared in a desire to start a family. Then about a month into their marriage, they received their license to foster children. Now, 17 years later, the Ingle family has grown to include 12 children.
We have grown our family from the back end. We kept the birth order in place because we thought that was important to the children that were already in our home, that they owned that birth order. So we would bring infants in, or younger children in, and the older ones got to be part of the decision-making process. What do you think? Do you think it's a great idea? I don't remember ever having a discussion on that level and having anyone say, I don't think we should do that. Everybody's been go, 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 let's do it, it's great. And when they come, like a William, everybody gets to experience that. So I've seen a change in the softening of the hearts of the children that are here and accepting children with special needs like Jessie and them being the ones saying, let's do it. What are we waiting for? Which is kind of a neat thing.
The compassion that they all have, every single one of them, when they see a need, they're right there to say, how can we do it? What can we do to help? Which we think, and we don't expect them to go out and duplicate our family and adopt 12 children at all. Some of them talk about adopting, some of them talk about being a missionary in Africa.
And you talk about being an only child.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have one saying she'll never get married and have children.
We do.
But she's 16, so.
Because the whole idea of childbirth is not, she says she'll adopt, but the childbirth thing she's not quite interested in yet. But yeah, it's neat, and I think because, like Rick said, we brought him in so young. We haven't adopted for 5 years. We were kind of stuck in a family of 10, not stuck, but we were a family of 10 for quite some time. And then it wasn't until the 5-year-old twins were 4 that we prayerfully decided to adopt again. Our plates were very full with 6 children in diapers, 6 children in cribs. We couldn't really, we were kind of keeping our heads above water just where we were. So it wasn't until the second set of twins were 4 that we sat down and prayed and really felt this longing and this desire to adopt again.
We are kind of just with our hands up saying, use us. And we have talked about, okay, now at our stage of our life and how many children we have, using us may not be adopting more children. Using us may be what Heather's doing and starting an adoption ministry at her church. Being able to mentor other families that may want to foster or adopt, and being able to kind of duplicate our efforts, so to speak.
James 1:27 calls us to care for the orphan and the widow. We don't believe it's an option, we believe it's a commandment. And how that plays out doesn't mean every child, everybody who reads that verse, it certainly in our, the way we read it, doesn't mean that you have to go out and adopt a child. What we feel that it is that you should go out and mentor, foster, adopt, care for, pray for, love, support an orphan, because it will change your life.
Julie Kantor is one person who decided to team up with the Ingles and lend support in tangible ways, with intangible rewards.
Getting to know people like the Ingles really make you just say, wow. And I think everybody in the course of his or her lifetime, they meet people that are inspiring and amazing and make your head spin. And that is what I have felt with Heather and Rick Ingle.
When you walk into that house, you feel love.
You feel love and you see nurturing, and these kids are really taught to help each other. and they see this by example. And what I see is amazing. I don't see that in homes with 2 and 3 kids, but you'll see a 10-year-old helping a 7-year-old who helps a 5-year-old twins, who's bragging because the 3-year-old put his toys away. I mean, you just see a lot of help and a lot of respect.
Coming up, we'll hear about a big project Julie and friends of the Ingles are working on.
Thank you for inviting us into your home. Each week we feature real people who deal with real-life issues head-on. Some of their experiences are uplifting, while others will break your heart. But in the end, the message is clear. Those who follow biblical principles on the issues of life are blessed. Become a partner with us in providing a positive, life-affirming message to help change the way the next generation values innocent human life. Please consider a generous gift to help offset the costs of producing this important quality programming. You can donate on our secure website at facinglife.tv or by calling the phone number on your screen during normal business hours. Together, we can make a real difference for life.
When Rick and Heather Ingle decided it was their calling in life to adopt children, they knew it wasn't going to be easy, but that didn't matter. With the help of family and friends like Julie, the Ingle family is setting an example. Adoption has a positive impact on children, parents, and the community.
I read about the Ingles about 14 years ago in a local newspaper, and I couldn't stop thinking about them and decided that at some point I had to meet them. I walked my dog actually by their house one day, and I saw a woman out front, which turned out to be Heather. So I introduced myself, and I told her that I had read the article in the paper, and I just told her that I thought she and her husband were amazing people. I went home and immediately thought I had to help her with something. And it was a little bit before school started, so I did a back-to-school drive. So I sat down at my computer and I sent an email list out. And all of a sudden, I'm getting books and clothing and gift cards and money. So I took the money and I made more gift cards, and I thought, if I can help them make back to school a little bit easier, that was the goal. Because it's an expensive endeavor with, a few kids, let alone, 12 kids. So that was the first thing. And then in October, I took a team of people and we went into the house on one Saturday afternoon. And we worked 75 man-hours in one day, organizing and cleaning and helping her purge and recycling things that they didn't need anymore. And then I've sent in maintenance crews and cleaning crews.
What exactly are you doing for them now?
Well, now we have a project called Home Sweet New Home, and the goal is to renovate and put a 2-story addition onto their house while making it all handicapped accessible.
Now give me in detail what exactly you're doing to the house.
Well, we're going to enlarge the family room, reconfigure the kitchen since that's pretty much where families live. We're going to add bedrooms and some bathrooms. 14 people in a home that size doesn't work too well all the time. We're not looking at lots of whistles and bells. We're looking at necessity and practicality and just try and make life a little bit more convenient.
Now, you found out on a very personal level there are people who want to help others who are adopting, such as the case with Julie. Tell me about that.
Oh, it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
Back to school, backpacks and supplies and then Christmas things. And as it started surging into other things, she found other people that wanted to assist. She made it more formal, and has, really decided to do this project to help kind of retrofit our home into something that is, a little bit easier to get around and more wheelchair accessible, and some of those other things that are really functionally that we need, and probably wouldn't happen if it wasn't for somebody like Julie. And it's it's amazing. I've said, you've heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, we have our own village here in our house, so who's going to raise the village? Well, just the larger community. And Julie really gets that. She understands that, and she's very strong in her convictions, and her mission is to help our family, and I think our children is what's really touched her.
Coming up,
I have learned that despite what you may see on the news, every single night, there are a lot of good people out there with big hearts.
Whether you're a student needing answers, a parent needing help, or a concerned citizen wanting to make a difference, Life Issues Institute has the resources you need to put your values into action. Life Issues Institute is an international educational organization committed to protecting innocent human life. Life Issues Institute knows what it takes. That's why millions throughout the world turn here for help. Life Issues Institute has authored more pro-life publications than any other entity in the world, and its materials are printed in over 30 languages. Radio broadcasts, newsletters, and a website filled to the brim with the answers you're looking for are just a click away. Go to facinglife.tv and click on the link to Life Issues Institute to find out more about how you can change the heart of a nation.